All-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. The fastest no-prep cars in the land versus the fastest all-wheel drive trucks that we've ever seen. 2,000 to 3,500 horsepower among the mix, and they go head to head. But the question that we're here to answer today is, was it a setup or was it just a fair race? Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another one. It's your boy Stephen here from Mod to Fame, and this is our series called Modified, where we feature the latest in motorsports and developments in the auto industry. Now, as you guys have seen from the title and thumbnail, and if you haven't seen this video yet, you probably want to go check it, but it's playing in the background. Cleetus McFarlane set up one of the best races that I've ever seen on YouTube, on TV, or wherever. Just amazing, entertaining races. A field of 32 vehicles, 16 of which were all-wheel drive, 16 of which were rear-wheel drive. But the caveat was no prep. And when we say no prep, we really mean no prep. Cleetus McFarlane, this is now his third what would have been all-wheel drive shootout year after year, the third annual year of doing this. Previously, what we've seen, the entry of the Coyote twin turbo all-wheel drive F-150 has entered the marketplace. That is right. That seems to be the one that takes the cake with making over 2,500 horsepower. Also, in addition to that, going up against, we've seen in the past, LS setups making 2,000 horsepower as well, and even diesel powered vehicles making upwards of 3,000 horsepower competing. But what we hadn't seen, just to give a little context and going backward, these events had been super successful, generating amazing amounts of views and just amazing content overall for the motorsport sector. So after seeing these events and it being all-wheel drive, the no prep community spoke up, and they spoke loud. And they said, you guys should have us out there. And when I speak about the no prep, I'm talking about what you guys have seen in this video. Maybe you haven't seen it yet, but this is the fastest group of no prep rear wheel drive vehicles put together by none other than Beater Bomb. Beater Bomb, well known in the no prep scene, pulled together 16 or 15 vehicles besides his to go up against the all-wheel drive vehicles. Now, Cleetus McFarlane clearly stated that he never thought about adding in rear-wheel drive vehicles because of the surface. What you guys are seeing is an asphalt surface, no prep, nothing sprayed down, no glue, no additives, not even water for a burnout. Just straight pull up to the line and go. What he said was he didn't think to add in rear-wheel drive vehicles because how could they potentially compete? Well, the rear-wheel drive community, loud, boastful, said, no, we can hang. Not only can we hang, but we can beat you. So therefore, Cleetus McFarlane then extended the invitation to say, well, you know what? Instead of just inviting you, if you guys think you can beat us all-wheel drive cars on this surface, bring it on. And he organized all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, what we've seen here. Now, I'm not going to do too much spoiling in case you haven't seen it for yourself. However, the question that we want to answer is, was it a setup for rear-wheel drive? Because the biggest spoiler that I could alert is the all-wheel drive boys came out on top. But the question is, was it a setup? Were they set up to lose from the beginning? And if that's the case, who set them up? Was it Cleetus McFarlane that set them up? Well, let's stick back to the facts. The facts of the matter is, this is an event that's been ongoing. This would have been the third all-wheel drive shootout. Nowhere anywhere did it say rear wheel drive, right? But the rear wheel drive community wanted in. They wanted to be able to compete on this major stage that is the Cleetus McFarlane YouTube channel and the stratosphere of what he's doing as far as the amount of views that this channel generates is outlandish. The amount of attention that this channel receives is amazing. So everyone wants to be on the main stage, right? We love what we do. We love racing. And in the no prep community world, you don't really see at scale these two worlds collide. So Midnight Performance headed up the all-wheel drive team. He warned them, you guys don't got a shot. You can't do it. Cleetus McFarlane said, I didn't think that you guys would even want to participate. So the rules have always been the same for each event. No prep. No water for burnouts. Pull up, dry burnout, dry hop, and go. The deal was, we'll invite you, but you got to play by the same rules that we do. So was it a setup? Yeah, it was a setup. These all-wheel drive trucks, even in Cleetus' video prior to this event, he released it himself. His personal Dale truck is out there running 580s, 570s. In this particular video, one of the participants said in his all-wheel drive truck, what his time was, it was 5.2 to the 8th at 151 mile an hour with no prep. So I can tell you none of the rear wheel drive guys shared their times, but based on what we saw, it wasn't the same. And that 5.2 car was not the fastest. So that tells me that some of those trucks were going 4s to the 8th. You know how hard that is, even on prep? So the rear wheel drive guys did an amazing job with what they had to work with. But physics are physics, and they set themselves up for failure. So that answers the next question. Well, if it was a setup, who set them up? They did. The rear wheel drive guys set themselves up for failure. They knew the rules, and I just don't know if they underestimated the competition or how fast these trucks were going, or they underestimated the difficulty of the surface that they would be racing on compared to what they knew. Maybe they're used to racing on concrete, which would make a huge difference. But I can tell you, in the first round, it was a bloodbath. And then the finish and the final, it was an all-wheel drive final. Now you guys can go and check out the full video to see who won what. But right now, we've just answered the question. Was it a setup? Yes. Who set it up? Or who set the rear wheel drive community up? And it's the rear wheel drive fans and the rear wheel drive guys themselves set themselves up for failure in this particular case. In the next story that we have coming up right now, the Dodge Charger Daytona EV is a hated vehicle in the automotive community. Absolutely, hands down. And I get it. It's not something that anyone asked for. When that car came out, I asked myself, and I asked my brother, I said, who is this car intended for? What is the intention of this vehicle? And the YouTube community did not hesitate to blast this vehicle until I actually went and drove this car for myself. And when I drove this car for myself, what I was able to determine was that it's not a great EV. It is not a super great performance vehicle. But overall, as a complete package, it's a very nice car. Then what I learned from driving that car and the owner of that vehicle, the lease deals that are out there and available. This is going to be one of the greatest opportunities for someone to drive a car for 2 years for very little money. A very nice car that is more than likely faster than the car that you own today, that is new, brand new, and your car is no longer brand new. So I can tell you, I'm seeing the shift in this community of people saying, well, if it's that cheap, I mean, it might be worth a try. Meanwhile, on this channel, we said that when I reviewed that car a month ago. A month ago, we described that this is a very nice car and there are some amazing deals that you might not want to turn your back on. But I'm usually an early adopter, and that's just kind of the things that happen along the way. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to jump in the comments and say, everybody hated it. Doug DeMiro, he didn't hate it though. He said he actually kind of likes it. MKBHD said that it is a cruiser. And I 100% agree with that statement, that it is, in fact, a cruiser. Even the Mopar community is starting to come around and say, I hate it, but that's a hell of a deal, and that's a lot that you're getting for your money. So people are starting to catch up. Stefan here, early adopter. It's just the way I've always been, and it's worked in my favor. In other news, we are going to be bringing back to the channel, Mod to Fame channel, that is, the Turbo Hellcat. That car is coming back. Developments are happening really fast. It is a secret project and secret mods that we're doing to this car, that when it comes out, we're actually going to run the car as slow as humanly possible to get as much data as possible before we turn it up. But the plan with that vehicle is to compete heavily on a main stage. Main stages include events like Street Car Bragging Rights, maybe FL2K, and others like it. Mod to Fame is going to get into the real world of competition racing. And he's going to do it with the Turbo Hellcat, the one that you guys know and love. You formerly known it as Cheapokitty. We don't even have a name for it anymore. It's just one really, really fast Hellcat. Anyway, it's your boy Stefan here from Mod to Fame, and this has been another episode of Modified. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any more videos going forward. But until the next one, like we say on the Mod to Fame channel, we out.